This place is tough to get wins. Just thought our guys earned every inch. Found a way to get a win, and now we got to gain on that momentum.
Caught by Mixon at the 5. Charges into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals.
Jamar Chase with the catch and up the sideline, and there he goes. Jamar Chase to the end zone for the touchdown.
Making plays, unbelievable.
I think that's the most interesting game of the week. Falcons, Bengals at the 1 o'clock kickoff.
That's what great teams do. They rebound after last week. They go on the road. They steal a win, and then we go back home.
We're going to build off of this win and keep it going.
Oh, it's that time.
Needed today, though. Energy from the jump.
Believe in each other, one play at a time. Do what we do. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
It was a homecoming to remember for Jamar Chase, as the Bengals left the Big Easy with the win. Welcome in to Bengals Weekly. I'm Marissa Contepelli. The Bengals are back in the jungle after spending the last 2 weeks on the road. But before we get to kickoff against the Falcons, we take you down to field level for sounds of the game, as we had Jamar Chase mic'd up in his hometown. A former SWAT team member joins the show to give us his take on the cleanup crew. And on Countdown, I'll tell you just how close Joe Mixon is to joining an elite list of Bengals. But first, Jamar Chase was back in his hometown over the weekend and put on a show for all to see in his city. But the city of New Orleans, and more specifically Harvey, holds a special place in Jamar's heart.
This is his SEC first team All-American. These are other Park Ball awards when he was a kid. This is one that he won from high school, the best athlete in the school. Okay, this picture here, this is his freshman year in high school, number 86, and that's his senior year, number 1. We always told him, to whom much is given, much is required. And he's been given a lot, so it's required that you do a lot for others. That's how it comes back to you.
Just being in the area always makes me happy. It brings joy to me when I get back to New Orleans and see that side of the city. Community, was just a big thing for, everybody that I've been around, from my basketball coaches from Park Ball.
You can't leave behind the people that help you get you where you are now. So we keep instilling that in him. New Orleans and Cincinnati have 2 people to take care of, 2 places to take care of. I have always been hands-on with Jamar. At an early age, I seen a whole lot of potential,
I'm playing at Oakdale, Park Ball team, and he brings baby oil to the game. And he said, yeah, this is how you're not gonna get tackled. And he rubbed me down with baby oil from my arms all the way to my pants. And it's funny because I actually played really good that game.
He was ready to get up and just go play football like any game. Game day was exciting. I go to the park, Jimmy meet me at the park. We all out there all day. And Jamar used to just have fun.
They were fun, I was business, okay? So nobody could see what I was doing, but I had a plan the whole time. I was trying to instill some things in him at the time. He just wanted to have fun and play.
It was a little aggravating growing up, hearing him in my ear a lot, but for the most part, I'm glad he did that at an early age. He's seen it, and, he took advantage of it. 8th grade, I got recruited to play football at a high school, and that right there gave me the mindset, that I probably have a chance to be good.
I'm the kind of coach that I don't give anybody credit till I see him get it done. He was very unassuming, very quiet. I guess we really didn't know what we had, until the start of his junior year.
To watch the full feature on Jamar's return to New Orleans, visit youtube.com/Bengals.
Go! Ow! Center 4!
We bring you sounds of the game next, here on Bengals Weekly. Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were better together in the win over the Saints. The Bayou Bengals returned to the site they won it all as Tigers, the Superdome. The dynamic duo teamed up for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns in the homecoming, including the biggest moment of the game, coming with 2:10 left in the fourth.
Joe drops back to throw. His pass caught by Chase at the 50. Runs through an arm tackle.
Nice.
Down the sideline.
Baby.
He's going to take it to the house. Jamar Chase, a 60-yard touchdown. And the Bengals have the lead.
The 60-yard touchdown was the longest in the league in Week 6. And the longest game-winning touchdown in the NFL within the final 2 minutes of a game since 2018. Burrow's 126 QB rating was a season high, as Chase recorded his first multi-touchdown game of the season. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are better together. Brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. It was Uno time at the Superdome last Sunday, as Jamar Chase went off in the second half. Good thing we had the Louisiana native mic'd up for this one. Let's now head down to field level for this week's Sounds of the Game.
Today, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase return to the Big Easy as the Bengals take on the New Orleans Saints. As you might expect for the Bengals, a contingent of guys with ties to this place, this opponent.
Back home. My mama here. My grandma here. My other grandma here. Gotta put on a show. Hey, dog, from the jump. We need this one. Big energy from the jump, dog. Go take it, man. Go take it. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is a 3rd and 3. Burrow on the slant. That's complete to Jamar Chase for a first down.
3rd and goal from the 9. Joe back to throw. Pump fakes. Throw short. Caught by Mixon at the 5.
Yeah.
Charges into the end zone. Touchdown! Bengals!
We got him. We got him now. Good job, man.
Burrow trying to elude the pressure, and now he's going to take off and run it. He'll have a first down. He'll have a touchdown.
And Burrow throws left. It is caught.
Nice.
Chase gets away from a defender. Runs to the 35 of the Saints. The 30. Burrow catches. Looks. Fires.
Boom.
Chase. Touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What you talking about, man? Come on, man. Called it. Didn't I tell you, called it? It's going to come again. Don't even worry about it. Know that. Don't open up for everybody. We need right now.
Bolton got hit as he threw the ball and falls incomplete.
Trey Hendrickson got to the arm of Andy Dalton, and the Saints will have to punt it away.
Let's do it. It's our moment.
Joe drops back to throw. His pass caught by Chase at the 50. Runs through an arm tackle.
Nice.
Down the sideline.
Baby.
He's going to take it to the house.
Go out! Out! It's my out! Let's hold you! Let's go! He can't hold you! Out, man! My out, you hear me? Hey, that was a hell of a game plan, Zach.
Hey, what do you take?
Great game plan.
What do you take on?
Real.
What do you take on?
And that is Coffin Nails. The Bengals score the game-winning touchdown with 1:57 to go on a 60-yard pass from Burrow to Chase and leave New Orleans with a win.
just something about this state that just, brings the best out of us.
It was crazy, man. Knowing I was back home, the crowd was crazy, the fans were crazy. Just New Orleans fans and Bengals fans. Both excited to see both teams. So it was an unbelievable experience.
Coming up next, Cincinnati takes on Atlanta for the first time since 2018. We preview Sunday's showdown when we return. Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, the official bank of the Cincinnati Bengals, and your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. If you're a sports fan of any sort, you more than likely have at least one jersey hanging in your closet. For someone like Dan Horde, I can't even begin to guess how many jerseys he has lying around. But this week, he decided to pull out a special one. Let's send it over to Dan, Dave, and Jeff.
How cool was it last Sunday to see Joe Burrow walk into the Superdome wearing Jamar Chase's LSU National Championship jersey? It obviously inspired my wardrobe choice today, a tribute to Dave Lapham.
Thank you,
It
sir.
also inspired our topic for the Who Dey conversation this week, 3 great off-the-field moments in Bengals history. Lap, you're up first.
I'm going to go to the 1988 Super Bowl 23 season. A guy named Albert Woods, otherwise known as Icky, and he met with teammates in the locker room. I got to come up with a celebration, after I score a touchdown. And he's a couple steps left, couple steps right, couple hops left, couple hops right, spiked the football, and the Icky Shuffle's born. And he starts celebrating after every touchdown. They went 8-0 at home. The fans couldn't wait for him to score a touchdown so they could do the Icky Shuffle. But the ultimate validation happened at a presser at the Super Bowl, where Paul Brown gave that Icky Shuffle up there at the podium, and everybody thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And when you had basically the founder of the organization validating the Icky Shuffle as a celebration that's worthy, it took off.
All right, Butch, you're up next.
I'm going to go in the Wayback Machine. August 1998, steamy hot, Canton, Ohio. Hall of Fame induction. Anthony Munoz, talking about the people who helped get him there for this moment. But the biggest moment was when he asked his offensive line to stand in steamy Canton, Ohio, but it gave me a freezable chill.
All right, well, let's go from that hot day to a cold day. In December of 1989, after some fans threw snowballs on the field, Sam White asked for the PA microphone from Tom Kinder and delivered this very famous speech.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, and get them out of here. You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
A legendary dig at a rival, but it's worth noting that 1 year later, Sam White got in a dunking booth in Cleveland to raise money for charity.
Yes.
3 great off-the-field moments in Bengals history and the subject of this Who Dey conversation.
He's one of the OG members of the SWAT team who took his talents to the broadcast world after his playing days in stripes ended. Solomon Wilcots now joins Dan Horde to preview Sunday's game.
It is always great to catch up with former Bengals Super Bowl safety Solomon Wilcots, the host of the opening drive on Sirius XM NFL Radio. Solly, it's been a bit of a bumpy ride so far for the Bengals, but they find themselves tied for first in the AFC North at 3-3. Assess the team through the first 6 games of the season.
I thought the game against the New Orleans Saints, it was the best we played on offense anyway, in terms of just having good balance, ran the ball very good with Joe Mixon, and then obviously forcing them to come out of the double coverage that Jamar Chase had been getting for the first month of the season. I think the Saints game was not our best game as a football team, but it was certainly the best game for the offense. I thought we played very well in the Thursday night game against Miami. It was probably our most complete game offensively and defensively.
You were part of one of the great secondaries in franchise history, the SWAT team.
The current group has adopted the nickname the Cleanup Crew. What stands out when you watch this group play?
Chidobe Awuzie, just consistent in coverage and a very good tackler. Our safety tandem of Jesse Bates and Von Bell. I mean, just a really good all-around group. Great in coverage, great against the run. They're not afraid to lay their pads on people. They understand and embrace the physical part of the game. I love the depth and versatility that they have in this secondary. And they're just going to continue to get better.
So the Falcons come to town this Sunday. Atlanta's rushed for at least 150 yards in 5 out of 6 games. Is stopping the run, is holding the Falcons to a reasonable number the biggest key on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, here's a couple of things. You got to keep them under $150 because they've been over 150 each of the last 3 games. 3 weeks ago, they went for 200 against Cleveland. And then last week against the really good 49er defense, I think they had 168 yards. And they have the fewest 3 and outs of any offense in the National Football League. So they know how to stay on the field on 3rd down. So that's what we have to do defensively. We're going to have to hold up against their run game, but we got to get them off the field when they get to 3rd down. More importantly, our offense can help with this, right? And Joe Burrow, I think, alluded to that. If your offense can get a 10-point lead and stay ahead on the scoreboard, Arthur Smith is not going to stick with that run game.
Sally, always appreciate your time and your insight. Keep up the great work, and thanks again.
Thanks, Dan. Greatly appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Joe Mixon is nearing a milestone that only 4 other Bengals have reached. Coming up next on Countdown, I'll tell you what that is. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly. Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Alta Fiber, proud to be the official internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Betfred, the official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Join Dan Horde and Dave Lapham Wednesday nights for the Bengals Game Plan radio show live, presented by Bud Light. Visit Bengals.com/gameplan for a list of locations each week. Kettering Health and the Cincinnati Bengals want you to make a crucial catch by reminding you to schedule your annual mammogram. Visit ketteringhealth.org/crucial-catch. Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Over the last 2 weeks, the Bengals have established a more consistent run game, as Joe Mixon has averaged over 5.5 yards per carry in that span. Now, last season, Jodine went crazy, rushing for a career-best 1,200 yards. And on Sunday, Mixon can add another impressive feat to his resume. Mixon needs just 89 rushing yards to reach 5,000 for his career. Once he does, he will become the 5th Bengal to accomplish this, as Mixon will also be just the 8th active player in the NFL with 5,000 or more career rushing yards. Well, since week 3, Joe Burrow has thrown up the 3rd highest passer rating in the league, and his 9 touchdowns to 1 interception during that time is also top 3 in the NFL. And this Sunday, Burrow will face a Falcons pass defense that is bottom 5 in the league. Burrow is 3-0 at home against bottom 5 pass defenses, as Atlanta is allowing over 280 yards per game to opposing QBs. And the good news for Joey B is he has 3 lethal targets to choose from. The Bengals are the only team in the league with 3 receivers, each over 300 receiving yards. And when it comes to Chase and Higgins, well, they are the only receiving duo in the NFL with more than 1,400 yards combined since the start of last season. Now, on the other side of the ball, Trey Hendrickson continues to be a menace for opposing quarterbacks. His 20 QB pressures is 2nd in the league, and his 11 QB hits are the most he has had through 6 games in his career. And when you pair Sam Hubbard into the equation, well, the duo has the most combined pressures among 2 teammates in the NFL. And in the secondary, Chidobe Awuzie has been locked down for the Bengals. Opposing quarterbacks are completing only 35% of passes thrown his way. That is the lowest in the league among corners with at least 18 targets. And QBs are registering a passer rating of just 51.5 when targeting Awuzie, as the corner has yet to allow a touchdown on the season. Contepelli's Countdown is presented by Betfred. And don't forget to play Ultimate Bengals on the Bengals app for your chance to win amazing prizes, including tickets to Bengals home games. Don't forget to check out Bengals Picks presented by Ohio Lottery, now in the Bengals app for your chance to win prizes throughout the season. 18 and over. Terms and conditions may apply. It's now time for this week's Kettering Health Fantasy Report. The highest fantasy performer in Week 6 was none other than Joe Burrow. 4 total touchdowns and 300 yards in the air, Burrow scored over 32 fantasy points. And his target for 132 of those yards was Jamar Chase, who topped 32 fantasy points as well. Burrow and Chase were the top 2 fantasy performers across the league in Week 6, as they each had their best outing of the season. And for the second straight game, the Bengals will take on the reigning NFC Player of the Week, as Marcus Mariota found the end zone 3 times, totaling over 24 fantasy points in the Falcons' win. Thanks for tuning in to Bengals Weekly. Kickoff between the Falcons and the Bengals from Paycor Stadium is coming up. For Dan Horde, Dave Lapham, Jeff Hobson, and our entire crew, I'm Marissa Contepelli. We'll see you next week. Bengals Weekly was brought to you by AltaFiber, proud to be the official internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Kettering Health, official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals.